Welcome to another episode of Gracias Come Again. Today I'm sitting down with someone who is an artist, a super producer, a writer, a man of God, a DJ, a Grammy nominee. Welcome to Gracias Come Again, Frankie Cutlass.
Hey, my pleasure. Salute.
Come on. I don't know why I expected you to come out with, bam, 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 all times.
Nah.
I'm so used to being on stage.
Maybe because I'm used to this. That's what it is.
I'm used to seeing you on stage. It's like I expected explosives. I said, I'm giving him time to wind up.
Nah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for, allowing me to come up here.
Your eyes are so distracting. I never expected them to be that color. Don't mind me. I'll be all over the place with it.
Nah, it's all good. Yeah, it's a fishy green eyes. And also depend on the clothes that I wear, too.
They're popping today.
Yeah.
Un boricua con los ojos verdes. Bueno.
Got that from Grandpa.
Había problema cuando tú estabas joven, right? You thought you was all that, right?
Yeah, I was a player. And I was slim, too, so,
Los gorditos son lindos. Deja tu mierda.
I had my share.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. Thank you.
Overall, in this universe, you feel like, you are where you're supposed to be right now?
As far as the music, yes.
Yeah?
Spiritually, no.
Why? Aren't you a man of God? You found God a very long time ago,
I'm a man
right?
of God, but I'm not, to be very honest with you.
Yeah, talk to me.
Be very transparent with you. I have a calling in my life, so I've been running away from that calling, so.
Are you supposed to be leading us in church?
Yes.
And what, you're not ready?
It's not that I'm not ready. I think that's a powerful calling.
It is.
And you have to be careful with so much things that's going on in the churches today. All the pastors getting criticized, some of these churches pimping their congregation. So it's scary. It's a very scary, and remember,
But you have it here. It's there.
He wakes me up every day at 5 a.m.
Papa Dios like, ven acá, when are you going to do this?
Yeah, he talks to me, and I talk to him, and I said, just hold my hand. Just lead me there, and he's working.
But I don't blame you because you have, instances like, let's say Farruko. Farruko was like, that's it. And now he's back. And everybody's like, so what happened? So I can see your hesitance to be like, am I going to go? Am I going to stay? You don't want to jump in and then be like, I want to go back.
Yeah, you don't want to jump in.
And then want to go back.
And then they want to go back, right? Because
that's even worse.
It gives it a bad name, right? It gets, Christianity, the whole, like a bad name, and everybody look at you like you're just a joke.
And I think it's a disrespect to your calling also.
Absolutely.
When you decide to accept that calling, whether it be to lead, whether it be, to prophesize, found a church, and then you're like, all right, God, I think I made a mistake. I'm a woman of God also.
Right.
And be like, I think I made a mistake. I don't want to do this anymore. The disrespect is severe.
It's definitely. So, I did ministry for like about 15 years. That's when I left the music business in the 90s. I think it was like 97, 98. I left the entire music business. I was in my peak too. I was signed to Epic Records. I was part of the Flip Squad with Flex. I was DJing. Mm-hmm. I was doing a lot of big things. Just finished producing a song for Notorious B.I.G. and Luke.
Don't get no bigger than that.
And I think that, when you work with the man, and I'm not talking about, hey, send me the acapella. I'm talking about when you in the studio with Notorious B.I.G., you popping.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
It don't get no bigger than big.
Yeah, so I left all that, and I just turned around and started serving the Lord and walking and, and doing stuff in the ministry. After sitting down for a whole year and a half, I started going out there and ministering all over the world, sharing my testimony.
What happened? You can't just be like, one day I decided to do this. Was there a specific moment, or was it the way you were living your life?
Yeah, the way I was living my life. So, first thing first, I lost my moms. So I was only 20 years old.
Oh, that's young.
Siblings of 9. So I was
You're
the
youngest of 9, right?
That's right. I was the youngest. So I really got to see my mom for 20 years. So that hurt a lot, And then I was part of a gang in New York City. And, we were doing a lot of crazy stuff, and they accused me of snitching. And I was not snitching to this day. That thank God there's no paperwork because mama didn't raise no snitch. So there was, but
and that snitch culture, that's so serious.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most serious accusations.
Absolutely. You die for that. And that's exactly what they did. They put a contract on my head to kill me.
Who was it, Lion Kings?
Yes, and big up to them. I love them. I love, some of my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was a couple of bad apples that started accusing me of this.
This is in Spanish
false information. Yeah. And it was a really bad situation for me.
And you were only 20?
And I was 20.
You're a kid 20, at 20 years old.
So I was, running with them and everything. I would hire them too. They good brothers and sisters. I was hiring some of the Lion Kings to do security for me when I was out there DJing.
You were already popping at 20.
Yeah, I was popping. You know, so we was out there. You know, I had Puerto Rico out. Boricua was on the set with Fat Joe and Doo-Wop.
Do you feel like you were targeted by these individuals because they
were, you know. So what happened was, you know, the feds was cracking down. You know what I'm saying? So they thought that I became an informant, which wasn't true. So I told them that I needed to kind of like chill for a second because these guys was picking me up literally at other stations. You know what I'm saying? They were at the recording studio. And it was getting difficult for me, you know what I'm saying? So I spoke to my lawyer, and my lawyer asked me to speak to them. I spoke to the leaders, and I told them what was going on, but they didn't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So I started like kind of missing some of the weekly meetings that we used to have. You know, we used to always have meetings.
At your radio station?
No, I'm talking about with the gang.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So I started missing some of those meetings, and they didn't like that. So some of these, you know, bad apples end up, you know, accusing me of snitching. They saying, oh, he's becoming an informer, and I was not snitching, to be honest with you.
Talk about that's why you weren't showing up at the meetings because you were meeting with the feds, like.
No, yeah, right. So that's what they thought. So anyway,
you was making money.
I was making money. I was at my peep. You know, video was playing on you know, on BET. I was popping, right? So I didn't need that headache. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, to make the long story short, you know, they accused me of snitching, and they put a contract, and I had to run for my life. You know what I'm saying? Because everywhere I was going, they were showing up to really kill me. You know what I'm saying?
And people think New York is big. New York is small.
Yeah. But you have to also understand, in the 90s, there were a lot of us.
It was.
Like Lion Kings were big in the 90s.
When you would go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade in the 90s.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was a mob of Lion Kings.
It was all of us. And
couldn't escape.
Yeah. So that was that. So
Did you leave New York?
No.
Okay.
I had to hide, you know. So I came across my brother-in-law who was a minister, and he started praying for me, and then he just started sharing. He just saying, man, you got to look for God. Right now you got a dark cloud over your head, and you might not survive this. So you have to make a choice what you want to do. So I started going to church. I loved what I was feeling because, you know, my mother also raised us in Pentecostal home. So I loved what I was feeling, and one day I just decided to do a 360 and just stay in the church.
You gave your life to Christ?
I gave my life to Christ, surrender, and I felt so good. I felt the peace. And I began to hear God speak to my heart and telling me, you know, if you follow me, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. And thank God, we was like, 30 years later, I'm still here. You
Amen.
know, later on, they found out that it was not true, that there was no paperwork. To this day, there's no paperwork, and there will never be no paperwork.
But it sucks because, you know, bringing that you know, stigma upon you, it's like you have to constantly be clearing your name. It's like that's the last thing you want, right. Especially in the hood.
Imagine
they
would have took me out for no reason.
That's the worst.
They would have took me out for no reason to find out there is no paperwork, right? You know, my daughter would have been fatherless. You know, my family.
You were already
suffering.
A dad?
Yeah, I was a dad to my first daughter, Charisma. And she wouldn't have had a dad, and my family would have been really, you know, they would have been hurting behind that.
God saved you because, like you said, there is a calling on your life. Yeah. You're not going to go before your time is up.
God is good. God is big.
All the time.
God is big. If he has a plan for you, not even the devil will take you out. You know what I'm saying? So I thank God for, you know, sparing me with this contract and everything. But like I said, they cool people. I speak to a lot of them to this day. You know what I'm saying? And even the big one, the captain, I'm not, you know, not going to say his name.
Obviously.
But he sent a letter saying, thank God that I chose the positive. And actually those guys end up informing the ones that actually said that I was snitching, end up becoming an informer and took the stand against him.
Hand on the Bible? Nah, they were deflecting. They were like, anyway.
So they're the one that end up, you know, snitching on him and took the witness stand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Born and raised in New York.
Spanish Harlem.
Spanish Harlem,
Barrio.
baby. Talk to me. What hospital you were born in?
Metropolitan Hospital.
Boom.
Like right 2 blocks away from where I lived.
Mommy took you home walking, probably.
Yeah, she probably did. 101st Street. Funny story. Marc Anthony lived on the 1st floor. I lived on the 7th floor.
Long hair, Marc Anthony.
Marc Anthony. We used to call him Skinny Tony. Bony Tony.
Oh, you know? That's insane. Did he start his career there in the same?
Yes. He was young. We were very young, and he started there with his sister named Yolanda. Mm-hmm. Yolanda is like almost a twin. They look alike, and they started a guy by the name of David Harris, who used to always pick us up, and he had this thing called the Cadets. You know, and we would go to the Cadets, and Marc Anthony was part of that. Yolanda was part of that.
But was it like an after-school program?
It was like an after-school program, but it was a program in the neighborhood, you know, trying to keep everybody from the streets or whatever. So they started with that. So that guy had somehow he had kind of like a musical background.
Okay.
And he started Marc's career. He started like recording with Marc Anthony. I have those recordings, believe it or not.
Get out of here, for real.
Crazy, man. I have those recordings. I started with him and his sister, and then Marc ended up just freelancing, and Marc started doing something that it's really still big to this day called freestyle music.
Oh,
so
huge.
He started doing background for some of those freestyle artists like.
See, I didn't know that. You're putting me on right now.
Sapphire.
I always saw Marc Anthony as like a superstar.
No, he started doing background. He actually wrote Sapphire's song "Boy I've Been Told," and he started doing backgrounds for the Land Rascals.
I guess we all got to start somewhere because
yeah.
Mariah Carey was the background singer for Brenda K. Starr.
That's right, my sister Brenda. Yeah. So he started doing backgrounds, and then after that, one thing led to another. He met David Maldonado. I'm running through it real quick.
No, you're good.
And he got down with that whole RMN, Ralph Mercado, and met up with our boy Sergio George, who also lived in the neighborhood, and
you all were destined to be stars. If you were all in that same little,
the rest is history. This is Marc Anthony, the salsero, the biggest, right? One of the biggest.
The king of salsa.
Yeah,
well, one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Okay. You started mixing when you were 12 years old?
12 years old. My brother...
Where did you get equipment?
Well, no, I didn't. My brother Tito, may he rest in peace, he had equipment. It was back 1978, 1979, somewhere around there. And I heard him, DJing in the room and stuff. And every time he'll leave the room, my mother would pick the lock and I'll start playing with his equipment and stuff.
Métete ahí.
My mother was a cahueta, what I'm saying?
I see it, picking the lock so you can play with equipment.
Yeah, and he would catch me because he'll know, like, I'll leave the equalizer on or something.
He said, something's wrong.
Yeah, he knew. He was like, "Mom, why you let him play with my equipment?" But that's how I started. I saw my brother. First record I heard, believe it or not, that I could remember
Talk to me.
coming out was Makusa, So Makusa. That was the first record. And Super Sperm. Excuse me, I don't know.
You fine. You good. You good. Sperm is a word we use in school.
So those are the two records that I heard him always playing at the house, Makusa and Super Sperm, break records. And I loved it. Something happened. I was just like, I love that. I want to do that,
You watched him DJ?
I watched him.
So he would let you watch him?
Well, sometimes he used to kick me out because he was there with his boys. I was a young one. Get out of the room. Yeah.
Muchachos y jóvenes.
But when I heard like him playing like Freedom and Dance to the Drummers B and Makusa and all those records, Just Begun, something happened to me. I was like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And that's how I started.
By 15, you were already DJing?
By 15 years old, my mother bought me some equipment.
Thank you, Mommy.
Yeah, thank you, Mom. She jeopardized her rent one day and told me, I'm going to buy you equipment. So,
you went with her to buy the equipment?
Yeah,
Tell me the story.
So what happened was my boy from the neighborhood, he was a DJ. So every Saturdays I would go to his house with records and he would, we would practice. And one day, he wanted to be more of a womanizer. So, one day I knocked in his house and he kind of like came from inside and locked the door real quick behind him. He was like, "Nah, man, I got a shorty here. You ain't coming. We're not practicing today." So I was just like, "Come on, man. Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, man, you serious?" He was like, "Yeah, I got a shorty here. No, you're not coming today." So I went home. I was a little sad, to be honest, because I had just bought records too.
You were hyping shit.
Because I bought new records, so I wanted to really like practice.
You had your little vinyls.
So I went. Yeah, I had vinyl. It was strictly vinyl. So I went into the my room and everything, and my mom came in and she saw. What's wrong? What's going on? Why you acting all
depressed?
Yeah, I was looking sad, looking out the window. I was like, no. She was like, what happened? What happened with this guy? I thought you was pregnant. Nah, he got a girl in there, blah, blah, blah. And like 20 minutes later, she came and she was like, come on, let's go. And I was like, let's go where? She was like,
moms are so dope, bro.
I was like, go where? She was like, I want to buy that jiki. Where you get that jiki from? And I said, Mom, you don't got money. She says, well, I'm jeopardizing this month's rent.
Que se joda la renta.
Yeah.
My little baby can't be in here sad because you was the baby, right?
I was the baby.
Y con los ojitos verdes, olvídate. You was probably
and she was dark
super
too.
spoiled.
And she was dark.
You were her blanquito.
I was her blanquito. Yeah, me and my sister were the only one with light eyes, but I'm the whitest of, My brother used to tease me, oh, Mom made it, they made a mistake in the emergency room or the hospital.
We picked you up in the trash can. That's what I used to tell my sister.
Same
you
thing.
adopted.
Yeah, you adopted. They picked up I had all that stuff.
What'd she end up getting you?
So she didn't get the best equipment, but at least she got something.
Gemini? What she got?
No, she got me Techniques. It was straight arms, Techniques. And she got me something to, get me started. And I will always cherish that in my heart.
Forever, man.
Forever.
Moms, Latina
she didn't really
moms.
get to see me at my peak. She passed away in 95. So,
But she actually supported you.
Yeah.
Supported the dream.
Of course she did.
And, if it wasn't for Mom, maybe buying that equipment, maybe you would have been like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I want to say mothers are super important. And, you lost yours early at 20 years old, but you got to experience your mom.
Yeah.
And she loved you and she raised you. And at 20, you're a man, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
So she carried you all the way through.
I had my my lady, and we had a baby together and everything. So I kind of like moved out a little bit.
You definitely was a man at 20 if you had a baby.
Yeah.
It still hurts, but at least mom got to see you, become an adult and even have a child.
Right.
Like, that's super dope.
Well, she didn't get to see the child.
Oh, she didn't?
She actually passed away a week before the child was born.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, that was
Was it an accident?
She had a heart attack. Yeah,
An accident.
us people, we eat crazy, diabetes, high blood pressure. Yeah, she was like 60 years old, and she passed away from all complications. Those kind of complications.
That stays with it stays with you forever. But I'm glad that you have such a great story to share about your mom.
Yeah.
You were feeling down, and mom said, "Nah, we're gonna fix this for you," because that's what moms do. Not just Latina mothers, but we also experience that. Inner city moms. We grew up in the hood, and it's just like we understand the struggle. Your mom had 9 kids, and she's out here buying DJ equipment. Some moms can't even buy clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that was a sacrifice.
She definitely sacrificed. Yeah.
How much did you take from her into your, parenting style?
A lot. Yeah. My mom and my dad, they were together for over 40 years.
Oh, what a beautiful story. I love that.
Yeah, so I don't know what, no disrespect to nobody, but I don't know what to have a stepfather or stepmother.
You don't come from a broken home.
No, we don't. So
that's beautiful.
So I wanted that in my first.
All 9 kids? Both of them together?
All 9 kids.
When y'all got your TV?
There was no TV. That's why they made 9 kids.
They was active.
There was, Puerto Rico and T.K.A. over there. There was no TV.
Oh my God, I love this story. Yeah. But a house of 9? How noisy was that house? Or everybody kept growing up and leaving?
Well, one of my sisters stood in PR. She met someone over there. She got married to this day. They still married.
In PR?
In PR. So she stood with that guy. But then she brought everybody else over here. So there was a lot of kids. When my mother cooked, she made those big
trays?
Those big pots.
El caldero grande.
The big one.
The arroz con gandula had to be the one that takes up all the burners.
You have to be good to cook in those big pot, man. Like
That's
have to
not
be
a game.
No, it's not. You have to be on point.
It's like a science, right?
Yeah, you got to make sure that season is the right, the right amount. And she did it all, man. And she'll cook for all 9 of us, Your
mom worked?
No, she was a housewife.
I can imagine. 9 kids. How can you even leave the house, right?
Yeah, we grew up in the projects, so
Which project you from?
We from Metro North Plaza. So we grew up in the projects. My dad tried to work here and there, on welfare.
It's a lot.
Social Security, all that.
70s, 80s, 90s. It was. If you're listening from anywhere in the world or outside of New York, we went through some tough times here in New York. 70s,
Absolutely.
80s, 90s. It was not for the weak.
Right.
To say the absolute least. Now, when did you start making music? You were DJing, but when did you get into a studio and was like, I'm going to put a track together?
Yeah, so 1986. So what happened was I went, Sapphire was from the neighborhoods, because we all from the same neighborhood. Sapphire, T.K.A., La India, Marc Anthony, Cynthia, Lizette Melendez.
What was in the water?
All of us is from the same neighborhood.
All that talent
in the same neighborhood.
So you said Marc Anthony and you said La India. You could have stopped right there.
No,
those two had the 90s in a chokehold.
Absolutely.
But continue.
Absolutely. So, we was all from the neighborhood. So what happened was somebody came, one of my friends named David Berrios came to the park in 108th Street where we used to all hang out. And he was saying, hey, man, I just found out that Sapphire's looking for a remix. She already had, a song out, and she was looking for a remix on her second single called Let Me Be the One. So they were like, they were like, hey, they want like a remix. Go ahead, go home and do it. I'll take it to her. So I ran home that day. I put together like a remix type, thing, splicing tapes. If nobody probably know what the hell that is over here.
I was just gonna ask you, how did you make a remix?
Splicing reel to reel, like go back. We going back like Latin Rascal days. You know what I'm saying? So I had a reel to reel, splicing it, doing edits. And then I do some overdubs, because I kind of got that from Latin Rascals. They used to be on a station called 98.7 KISS, and they would do like overdubs and play keyboards on top of the records and make it sound good.
Art.
So I kind of did that, sent it to them, but unfortunately I didn't make the the remix. Latin Rascals ended up doing it. 2 weeks later, my friend who worked the Heartthrobs, where Little Louis Vega used to DJ right on 26th Street in Chelsea back in the days.
When we had clubs in New York.
Yeah. Right. So he was like, hey, man, Sapphire's performing with Latin Rascal. You should come. And I was like, oh, I'll be there. So I went over there, and, he brought me to the VIP room, and I met Sapphire for the first time. And then I told her, hey, I'm the kid that did the remix for you. She was like, wait a minute, you Frankie? I was like, yeah. So she was like, oh, my God, that was pretty dope, blah, blah, blah. She was, she started talking to me and trying to encourage me. But she was like, unfortunately, Land Rascals, they did it. I said, yeah, that's cool.
Happens.
But she said, but I'm not going to let you go. She said, I heard some keyboards. You play keyboards? I said, well, I try. I'm not the best keyboardist, but I try to play keyboard. She was like, well, my brother's forming a group, and I need you to come try out. Come to the house on Monday. So I went over there, did my tryout. Saying Albert Cabrera from Land Rascals was there because that was her boyfriend.
Did you
at the
play
time.
the keyboards?
I did play keyboards, and she
Okay.
said, you know what do you guys think? And she was like, yeah. So I became part of a group called And More. And the song, it was a 1986, it was on Mick Maverick. It was called You Never Find Another Love.
That song, oh, please. A song? No, the song.
right. So, I mean, for all the freestyle heads, right? So we did, my first song was You Never Find Another Love, and it was by And More. And that was my very first song.
No, I want to hear the song. I wish we could play it right now, but
that
we
was
can't.
my very first song, and then I continued, doing music for, within the freestyle. Produced T.K.A, Give Your Love to Me. I did Les Emelandes Together Forever. I did Love Me Tonight by Cynthia. I produced those records, you know what I'm saying? So I got into the whole freestyle genre. And the 90s, early 90s, freestyle took a bad hit where the other station, I don't know if I could say the name of the station.
Hot 97. We love them
Hot
up here.
103, Hot 97. They
Was it the Hot 97 we know now, or before it was hip hop?
No, it was Hot 97. They were playing freestyle music.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was, I guess they did that whole change where Flex started, became the hip hop DJ, and they started changing their format. It took a turn for the worse, and then my very first hip hop big record, I met Funkmaster Flex in front of Hot 97. I was like, hey man, I'm just a kid trying to get on. I hope you like my record. It was a white label, and I was driving up Hudson River.
So you handed him, what did you hand him?
I handed him a record. It was white label, and he said, I'll check it out. I'll listen to it. And as I was driving through the Hudson, River, playing Hot 97, all I heard was doom 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 Puerto Rico. Oh,
Typical Flex. He would do some shit like that.
And I'm screaming in the car going,
you were bugging out.
He's playing my record, He's playing my record.
No heads up or nothing, just straight up on the
record.
record.
He just played it, and he started cutting the beginning, doom 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 doom, and it was just like, me and my man was looking at each other. We was crying.
I know you
like,
was.
Yo,
you ain't have to pull over?
Yeah, we did. We actually, that's crazy. We did pull over. We was just like, we couldn't believe it. So he started playing on Puerto Rico. Then the next day he played it again. And he just started playing the record. And
Is that the beginning of you entering the hip hop arena?
Yes. So what happened was, then I bumped into him about 2 weeks later. He was like, yo, who manages you? And I was like, nobody. He was like, all right, man, meet me here. So he wanted me to meet with him and a lady by the name of Jessica Rosenbro, who used to have a company called Stress Entertainment and the Flip Squad. She's the one that did all the parties at the Tunnel and all those parties that the Flip Squad used to DJ. And one thing led to another. They started managing me, and then my second single was "Shake What Your Mama Gave You."
That song was iconic, bro. That song in Vertigo when they had that Doodle Brown concert.
Yeah. Funny, talk about that. So my engineer Rock, the guy whose voice you hear, "Shake What Your Mama," is my boy Rock. He was an engineer at SOB Studio, a studio downtown by Delancey. And the funny thing is that when we did that record, he was just an engineer, because I was supposed to say "Shake What Your Mama Gave," but I ain't have that kind of soul, graspy voice. I'm Puerto Rican, so I ain't have that black voice,
That Midnight Storm.
Yeah. So I told him, go in the booth, and he did it, and I sampled them. Funny thing is that I think it was for New Year's Eve, the Tunnel had Uncle Luke to perform. So Jessica calls me and goes, yo, you should perform "Shake What Your Mama Gave You. I will have you open up for Luke." I said, come on, but I got Puerto Rico. Like, I'm not trying to go in that direction. And she was like, so what are you going to do? I said, hold up, give me a second. So I called Rock, the engineer. I said, Rock, you ready to be an artist? He's like, man, you crazy, bro. I ain't no artist. I said, Rock, I'm telling you, you're going to open up for Luke. This is big, New Year's Eve. This place is going to be a massive house. Like, you need to do it. What am I going to do? I said, yo, go to the strip bar. Go get 2 girls, 3 girls, and go on the stage and, I don't know, become a pimp. Do something. Shake what your mama gave you. Do something. And he did it, and to this day, he performed "Shake What Your Mama Gave You," and I started his career. My boy Rock, yep.
That's insane. These stories, like, you see things unfold, but you don't know, the behind the scenes and how one thing leads to another. Now, can we talk about "I Like It Like That"?
Tito Nieves?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Sergio George did that.
Please
I
talk
got
to me.
I got a call from Sergio. Joe was like, yo, we need you to do the remix. So I like it like that. So I was like, Sergio, let's do it. So I did the remix and became a overnight sensation. I actually ended up working with Tito Nieves a second time. So there's a song that I had, I think it was my third single on Relativity, Violator Records, and Epic Records. It was called You and You and You. And the hip hop had Sadat X and Redman. They were rapping on it. And then we did like kind of like a Latin tribal house. And we hired my boy Victor Vargas and his brother, the Wepa Man, Don, who passed away of COVID. He's the guy to sing Esa Loca, y Veni Una Brisa, Esa Nena Quiere. You know, that voice that you hear in the clubs.
Amazing.
They did the remix, the mambo mix for my song You and You and You. So I ended up calling Tito Nieves. I was like, hey, man, I need you to do vocals on this mambo mix. And I went and picked him up and we took him to the projects. So they lived in Webster Projects over there in the Bronx. We took him there. He had a Mercedes. Like, yo, man, if I come down and my rims are missing, bro, I'm telling you, you're going to get beat up,
That's
bro.
on you?
Yeah, he was like telling me. I'm like, yo, he's like, yo, we in the hood, bro. I'm like, I know. But this is where they do their music. So we brought him up and we put him, when he went inside the elevator, all the old ladies, Tito Nieves.
I can only imagine.
They were going crazy. We brought him to Victor's house and Don's house, and the mother was like, oh my God, Tito Nieves, you want some coffee? I'll give you coffee.
She was like, let me make a lechon real quick.
Tito Nieves was big. You remember when he was really big? They booth was like for 150-pound guy. So we were pushing him inside a booth.
I am
and
dead.
He was like, yo, hurry up, because I'm sweating. I'm going to die in here, bro.
And he had the vocals in there?
And we had vocals there. We closed the door. He was sweating like sardine, man.
It was summertime?
It was summertime.
In the projects?
In the projects. I'm telling you, we were cracking up.
I'm about to sweat myself right now.
We was cracking up. And Tito's, to this day, I saw him not too long ago. I was like, Tito, you remember that? He was cracking up like, yo, you guys are crazy, man. Big shout out to my boy Tito Nieves, man.
Your music has been sampled a lot. And it has been used, movies,
Which song? Puerto Rico?
Yeah. Like, it's just
Jennifer Lopez.
so iconic. Like, did you think this was going to span
No.
decades the way it has? Like, the fact that Jennifer Lopez opened up the Super Bowl.
Not only Super Bowl. So the first time she used it was in 2002, NBC special, live from Puerto Rico. This is her first concert in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. And we sitting there, ready to see this live special on NBC. And all of a sudden I hear, doom, 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 Puerto Rico, oh, Puerto Rico. And then she put the Big Pun, a little Big Pun sample, and then back and forth with Puerto Rico. And then my whole songs played. The band started playing I was like, Jennifer.
How emotional do you get?
I was like, yo, J-Lo's using my song. Like, this is crazy. So
do you get paid in instances like that?
Yeah. You get paid for that. You get paid for mastering, publishing, and all that. The lawyers, usually negotiate that and stuff. But so that was the first time. And then again, NFL called me and they were like, hey, J-Lo is going to use your song for the Super Bowl. She's going to open up, she's performing with Thalia. If you don't stand next to the TV, you would have not been able to hear Puerto Rico. It was really fast. It was low, but it was in there.
But it was in there, man.
Right. So it was cool. It was, it was Jennifer Lopez, Tito Trinidad, Miguel Cotto came out to the song. It was part of the New York Undercover Cops back in the days. It was called the Macheteros. When they used it,
Puerto Rican Day Parade, bro.
Sharon Stone on
what?
Gloria. There's a scene where she's walking with the little boy. If you guys saw the movie, the film, she was walking with the little boy, and then all of a sudden you hear Puerto Rico in the background, like somebody was playing on the radio. So yeah, this record reached a lot of places. It's like you said, it's every year on the National Puerto Rican Day Parade for the last 30 years.
That's a soundtrack to like the parade. As soon as anything, 116 Festival, Puerto Rican Day Parade, Frankie Cutlass.
Puerto Rico. Yep.
Like, bro.
Yeah. The funny thing is, and really quick, I want to.
No, you got time.
The funny thing is that my name, when it came to Puerto Rico and everything I've done, was erased in the music business when I became a born again Christian. So like,
why do you think? Why do you say that?
It was like everything was changing in the music business. So there was a lot of new artists coming out. There was,
it's never ending,
right? But it's now that people put the face together with Puerto Rico. So
is it because you retracted?
I left. I left the industry and nobody knew, and there was a new generation coming up. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, yeah, we heard the song, but we don't know who he is. They didn't even know it was Frankie Cutlass. They were like, you got to remember back then it was records, vinyls, right? Mm-hmm. Cassettes, CDs. You see the name Frankie Cutlass. So now everything started changing to digital, all that got lost. Who produced what? Who did what? So all that stuff got lost. But it's now within the last, I want to say the last 7 years, 8 years that people are putting the face and the name together. Like, oh snap, we didn't know it was you.
And you know what? You're still here with us, and we can still give you your flowers. We can still, connect the icon with the legendary track, and that's super important. Some people don't get to see that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still here. You're with us. You're thriving.
It's a blessing.
You're working.
It's a blessing.
You're making money. Hello.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy, that you're still here. You're working. How does your family see you? Are you just dad? Are you just? Are you married?
No.
Okay,
no.
So when you go home, who's there?
So when I go home is my grandson.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're just abuelo.
Yeah. And I have 4 grandkids, by the way.
Oh, you do?
So I have 4 grandkids. I have 2 daughters.
2 daughters?
Yeah. So when I get home, they usually there, whatever. My family, for most, they try to, they treat me sensitive. They treat me different, like.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I don't know. They become fans or something like that. Like, like, I don't know. And I kind of look at them like, it's me. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got to be extra sensitive with me, asking me stuff. And, they treat me a little different, but whatever. It is what
do you mean by that?
It's like
they don't want to hurt your feelings,
like,
or
no,
like what?
I just feel like they they call me dad, and stuff like that. But they more sensitive. Like they want to make sure, like they don't want to hurt my feeling as far as like treat me a certain way. Like you just Frankie from the house or whatever. Now it's like, okay, you're just a celebrity guy now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's all respect, but
it's 50-50. Some families, they be like, oh, whatever, you ain't nothing. Even if you're the biggest star in the world, some families just want to chop you down to size, and then some families like, nah,
right,
respect, don't play. That's Frankie Cutlass.
Yeah,
my pops, but you give him his respect.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's how they treat me. But I want them, at the end of the day, I want them to treat me like I'm just a normal person.
You just dad. You
just dad.
But what you've done, is amazing. It must be respected and it must be admired. You know what I'm saying? What you did it during a time, where it wasn't easy. We didn't have what we have now, whether it be TikTok, whether it be Instagram, labels, YouTube.
Oh, we did it.
You made it happen.
I did it
with nothing.
Posters, right? Cardboards outside.
You grinding.
2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, a big van, a jar of glue. Hang up those posters everywhere in New York City. We did that. Right? I did it. I was part of that crew with the hoodie on. Let's go hang these posters up, and that's how we do it, man. That's how we did it back then, marketing.
What are your thoughts on AI? I was reading a story today about this AI artist just got signed to a $3 million deal. I'm like, what is the future of music and artists, in your opinion, when it comes to AI?
It's scary. It's really scary because it loses that whole identity, as an artist, as a producer. We worked extra hard. We was in the studio for 24 hours. Now it's like 1 hour. You could tell AI to do whatever you want. And it's scary. It's a scary situation. I don't know about the future of the music or anything else.
Do you think the music industry will survive?
Maybe.
What if artists and the music industry leverages the AI and works together with it? Do you still think it's something that can be used in a positive way, or you think the music industry is just fucked?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, that's a very hard question to answer right now. But like I said, with AI doing everything, it kind of takes away the fun. It takes away what it used to be.
A lot of artists are not with it. Like I saw SZA. SZA's like, don't play with me. Don't use my image. Don't use my voice.
Yeah, they not. Then it's because we work hard for this, man. Like like even when I listen to some of the '70s stuff and the '80s stuff, you could feel the funk. You could feel the soul because everything is live. So when that bass player is playing, like from Chic, when you hear that bass player in there, you hear that soul. It's like he's rocking that bass, and you hear the drummer. Everybody's like, is a feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, it's like it's missing all that right now with music. You know what I'm saying? There's no more of that anymore.
A lot has changed.
Yeah, of course.
Now, what hasn't changed for you when it comes to music?
Well, I still, believe it or not, I still do turntables and vinyl. You know what I'm saying? So
I saw you we were at 116 Festival.
Yeah.
Doing your thing. You still do turntable and vinyl at home or parties?
At home, and I do it at home when I go live. I do, that.
You use 1200?
I use 1200. Yeah, I got my 1200s. Okay. Yeah. I got my vinyls. Excuse me. But that haven't changed. As far as blending. You know, that haven't changed. That's something that I wish a lot of DJs do, you know, which I hear a lot of DJs do it, you know, still to this day. Do
Big
the
shout
blends.
out Ty Boogie, man. Dope.
Crazy. Ty Boogie
is my guy.
Yeah, he's my
Listen, I don't play about Ty Boogie.
Big shout out to Ty Boogie. He's just insane with those blends. You know what I'm saying?
He's the blend king.
Yeah,
if you leave it up to, if you let me tell it, I'm biased. You know, he's my brother, but still, he's nice with it.
Yeah, no, Ty Boogie is definitely that dude when it comes to blending, man. You know, he does this thing. I hear a lot of that stuff. I'm like, that's fire, kid. Coming from a legend, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Why you sound just like him? Stop playing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I always give him his flowers. Like, yo, coming from you, a legend, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I always say it. I'll be like, Ty Boogie, one of the best DJs in New York, followed by DJ Sus One. Not because they both worked here. Well, Sus still works here, but because I've watched them.
I got to give another DJ a shout out. That's
Go ahead. Who? Bring it up.
That blends.
Listen, I'm a DJ snob.
He blends, he scratches, and the kid is off the hook.
Are we talking about?
I have to say Mel Star.
I thought you were going to talk about Frank Roth.
No, DJ Mel Star is another one. I got to give him his flower, bro. That dude, when it comes to blends, when it comes to blend, and you know who's another one I have to give another shout out, Scrap Jones.
Oh, forget about it. Come on.
I got to give him his flowers too and stuff. Those two cats right there is definitely putting in some work and stuff. Yeah.
When a DJ impresses a DJ, that means
they impress me.
Top tier.
Oh, those two impress me. I'll be like,
you be watching them DJs?
Oh yeah.
Because that's a thing. Like when a DJ
I met up with them too. You know, I met up with them and talked to them, and we talk sometimes. You know, especially me and Mel Star, we do a lot of talking. You know,
DJ academies. I love when DJs do that. What are you doing with? Are you doing anything with kids? Like, are you passing your legacy down? Anyone in your family?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. I actually don't want my daughter. My younger daughter Faye, she has like this little thing going on where she sings. She's came out with a few songs, not big. They're on social media and whatever. But I don't want my kids in the music business, especially my daughter.
You feel like the music industry is just too cutthroat?
A bunch of freaking perverts.
Well, we know it.
There are a lot of perverts here, man. So I get scared with that with my daughter. She's very beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want her to go through that. You know, I don't want her.
One hit could change her life. Come on, Frankie.
Yeah, you're right. It could, but I don't want her to go through hell. You know?
I know.
I could share stories right now from major artists and everything they've done to get up there. And I have receipts and it's facts with major artists that will blow this whole place out of this world. But I'll keep my mouth shut. What they had to do to get there, so.
Things are different though now with TikTok, with Instagram. You know, she can blow up on TikTok and tour the world. You know what I'm saying?
But she still need marketing. You still need that marketing money. You still need that backing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, social media helps you, but you still need that marketing money. You know, and you still need. I still think you need a label because label will take you worldwide and they'll get to places where you can't get on your own. You know, unless you become, like you said, that overnight sensation, that one, hit. Viral, your video goes viral and whatever. That's different, but
because you have labels now making TikTokers artists.
Right.
The music industry is very backwards now. Before it's just like we're gonna create an artist. Now they're like, oh, let's take this TikToker, that has this song and bring them over to the label. That's what's important now. Streams, views, TikTok, YouTube. The music industry is a complete different landscape.
Right.
Let your daughter do a song.
She's done a few songs.
You can't.
Listen, that's
I
funny.
can't be in your life because I'll be like, let's let her do a song.
It's funny you saying that because I was just the other day I was thinking like, I'm gonna go to iTunes or Apple Music and I'm gonna listen to her music, and I was gonna surprise her. I was gonna actually take one of her songs, take the acapella, and do my own beat to it.
Ooh, come on, pops, don't play.
I was thinking of doing that, so. It's still on the works. Let's see.
Send it to me. I want to hear it. Once it's all done, I want to hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what are you working on right now? Like, what are we looking out for? Are you going on tour?
I've been on tour. I've been
you stay
as a DJ.
Working.
As a DJ, I do like 50-something gigs a year every weekend.
You get into that bag.
Thursday.
Okay, talk about it.
So I'm we just opened up a new market in Atlanta, Georgia with freestyle music. It's never been in Atlanta, Georgia.
Can we talk a little bit about freestyle and how everybody just eats every week, every year? It's just freestyle heads.
I believe, and I don't know, and anybody's a witness. I believe I brought it back to a place that everybody gives me the flop. Even when
100%.
Even when K Slade was here, man, he rest in peace. He told me, bro, you bringing this freestyle thing back. Like everybody that I talked to, Funkmaster Flex, everybody's like, yo, I see what you're doing with that freestyle. You brought it back. It was like it was dead, and they believe I brought it back to the social media platform.
It is everywhere,
right? Everywhere. So
the concerts,
and that happened because Monday night freestyle class, I was bringing all of them to my house, singing, not only talking, but they were singing to in the camera, and we had this show going on. So I believe that freestyle all of a sudden it just blew up out of nowhere, and
it
now
resurfaced, and
now
everywhere.
the concerts is like selling out. Like just 2 weeks ago, I was in Tampa, Florida. We have 5,000 plus people out there.
That is insane.
You could go on my iTunes and look at the video. It was
Do you organize the concert?
No,
or
the
how
promoters.
are you?
The promoters. So the promoters, they book me and they pay me and then I promote it. I market it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one that market it. Take the ads and all that stuff and all that. But we had about 5,000 plus.
That's insane.
2 weeks ago in Tampa, Florida, which they bringing me back in January. It's like, bro, dude, you got a great following.
I love this for you. I love this for you because, sometimes you have a career in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s. We're in 2025 and you're still out here eating off of your craft.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen. That's a blessing. Now, anybody listening, they want to learn more about you, your social media, your website, where can they go?
Frankie Cutlass, all social media.
Frankie Cutlass.
Not just nothing, just Frankie Cutlass. That's it. And make sure it's the certified pages, not the fake pages. Because you might see some funny stuff in there.
Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. Nah. Thank you so much for joining me today, man. I'm so happy, that you're part of the culture. I want to sit with you, and just let you know you're important to us. What you've done, it's forever cemented in the history of freestyle, of hip hop, of Latinos, of Boricuas, of New Yorkers. Like you represent so many different, people and areas.
Big shout out to, he was just here now recently, my boy Pachanga, Luis Guzman. He's from T.K.A, Puerto Rico, where I'm from, but if you guys don't know, on Boricua's on the set, he was in the beginning of the video.
We got to go back and watch. He probably looked different.
He looks the same, but he was in the beginning walking with me, talking to me, say, Frankie, man, like what's going on, man? I heard you fell off.
I gotta go watch this.
Yeah,
now.
and I was like, "What you talking about?" I said, "We're going to the island right now to meet Fat Joe and Doo-Wop, and we doing Boricua." I said, "Man, get out of here, Papi. You always talking that stuff, man." And then at that moment, Tito Nieves walking, and we say, "Yo, Tito," and he was like, "Yo, what's up, Frankie?"
Nah, it don't get no bigger than this, man. It's
a classic video. Boricua's on the set with Luis Guzman, Tito Nieves, Fat Joe, and Doo-Wop.
We're watching this right now as soon as we finish, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, to come up here, sit down with me. You didn't drink the water. Come
on. It's all good.
Crack it open. Later.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. It's a blessing. Thank you guys very much. Yeah.
Gracias. Come again.
Thank you.
Frankie Cutlass.